What are all the things that dog owners do wrong when they get a new rescue or shelter dog? They literally let them do what they want, get away with what they want, and I have a lot of empathy for that because they're almost assuming I'm just gonna wait for the dog to get comfortable. But it's kind of like the first 2 weeks are actually this courting relationship of who are you, what can I get away with, what's the tone, what's the vibe. And if you're like, do what you want, when you want, I don't care, I'll love you no matter who you are, the dog's like, oh God, I need a leader, not love. People think training is like typical obedience, which is like sit down, stay, heel, where there's confidence building, there's relationship building, there's leash pressure dynamics, there's reward-based systems, there's all these different things that have to go into like build a dog up, which is really fun. But like even things like this is really healthy for her. She's sniffing a new person, so this is all confidence. Like a little kid kind of wanders, like a little kid's nervous and then they wander off and they start tinkering with stuff. You're like, this is good. Let's say this is a first session with a dog that you adopted, roughly around 6 months old. And right now she's a little nervous. She doesn't know you that well. She doesn't know where we're at. So you want to start developing very kind of primal things for dogs. And that's going to be like between like dog and owner, it's going to be like, I want you to do something and then you're going to get rewarded. And I know that you said she's not food motivated. She will become food motivated when she gets more comfortable. So we start off with like, for an example, place. So confidence 101 is helping a thing that they can do, that they feel like they can't up here, do it, accomplish it. It's like, I can't do that. It's like, you can. And you show them and then like, whew. So if they can do that, then they can do other things, right? So typically what we start off with is place. Good place, good job, yes, good, okay, break. So we start off with place, which you can, dogs are conditioned with what we call cues, like behavioral cues. And it could be, you could say anything is my point. You can say lobster, but we just typically use things like bed or place. And this is really, really helpful for when you have people over at your house. You say, go to your bed. They go there, and you say, stay, and then they stay there. It's like one of my go-tos. But in conjunction with everyday life of being like, well, that's useful and has a lot of utility, it's also really helpful for the dog's confidence while training. So there's a couple things. We ask the dog, Ruby, place. Yes, good place, good job. So when we're doing this, we're gonna use a little bit of leash pressure to make sure that the dog doesn't get off the place until we release the dog on our break. So we're working on what we call boundaries. So it's, I want you to do this, and the dog gets there, and usually within the first 30 seconds, the dog's like, okay, and then they'll kind of scurry off, or if somebody came in, she might get off. So it's important for her to know that she can't get off until we release the dog on our cue. This is like the first thing you want to do with the dog to build confidence, because this will tell the dog, and this is cliche, but that you are the leader. I hate even, it's cringy even saying that, but it's important for her to know that you are in the driver's seat. Because for a dog that's like, what do we do? It's relieving to her, knowing that you actually know what you're doing. What a lot of people do, especially dog owners who adopt dogs, who have fearful dogs, they feel really bad for them. So they allow them to do anything they want, when they want. They get the comfy beds and they get the toys and the sweaters, and that's all okay, but you have to have a healthy balance, because the dog actually needs structure and boundaries more than love and attention. I primarily work with behavioral cases, dogs that are actively trying to hurt me or other people or other dogs. The worst cases are the dogs who are so like kind of feral and fearful, and they're kind of homeless, and then they get somebody that just overdoes the love and affection and attention and doesn't do any of the other things in life. And that creates the most unhealthy, most aggressive cases that I've ever seen, like ever. Because the dog is like, I've never had love and attention and affection. Finally, this person is giving it to me, but they have no idea what they're doing, and I have to protect them at all costs. So anyway, so she's doing really good. So we're just gonna use what we call break command. So it's just literally that. Okay, break, good job. Good girl. So we're starting to create a little bit of structure, and that's in dog training defined as, I'm gonna ask you to do something and you're not gonna be done until I release you. We're just gonna go over rep this a couple times. So it's Ruby, place. Yes, good place, good job. Well done, good job. So that little leash pressure here is just that kind of those boundary. She's like, I'm out of here. And I'm like, wait, just, okay, break. Good girl, good job. It's just the very, very beginning of boundary setting, which for her, she'll go, you want her to start looking for you to go, okay, can I get off yet? That's confidence 101. She's here and she's like, but I don't want to be here, but I'm waiting for permission. It's all really healthy stuff. Nope. And what you want to do is try to catch her before she gets off. So you're catching her in the act, not after all fours are off. And you correct her at that moment. So correction is kind of like this taboo word in dog training, because people who don't believe in holding dogs accountable ever had made that word like a very vicious word, like correction equals pain for whatever reason, and that's obviously not the case. Correction is just at the moment the dog makes the mistake, it's like, no, that's not correct. Stay here, and then, because what happens is when the dog fully breaks and makes the mistake or breaks off the place, they're already done, and then you ask them to do it again, and it doesn't really capture the moment they made the mistake. Okay, break. Good job. So your break is important. The way that you do it is important. That's a question I get often, is how do you say it and how you do it? So I'm actually breaking with three things. I'm breaking with my voice inflection, right? So humans and animals are really, really keen on, what did you do? Great job. Like talk like high pitch like a girl, and the dog finds that more rewarding. But there's also like my body. So I'll show you. So like, watch what, like it's very subtle. So watch what I do with my body to get her up here. Ruby, place. So when I'm using my leash and then I'm bringing her on with my body and I'm catching her here. And then when I'm breaking, I'm doing this whole sequence all at the same time. So my voice, my leash, and my body are all cueing to her. So all of these things that we're teaching right now, I always equate it to a micro and a macro. So these are all like micro equations for the dog. So she's learning place, she's learning break. The bigger picture, the macro for her, is she's getting confidence, she's developing a system of understanding cues, she's understanding that she has to work, and all these things for a dog that's trying to like, I'm new here, what do I do? Hey, get to work, let's do this, thank you. Versus, I don't know, you wanna just hang out and watch TV? Like, dogs are animals, and animals all really like to work. And it's healthy for them to work. But if you don't teach them how to work, then that's where dogs become anxious. And then they start having separation anxiety. And then they start getting aggressive and reactive. And sounds like you've already gone down that road. This is like the next step of confidence. So even this, like you see her, she's like, what's that? What's that gonna do? What are we doing there? So again, you don't really know like what she's ever done or where she's been or what she's seen or what experience she's had. So we'll do things like this. Ruby, place. So confidence. I'm not so sure about this one. So this is like a little hesitancy. So this is where you come in as the handler, or me in this case, where I'm like, I'm gonna help you through this, right? Ruby, come on, place. Good job, good. Some dogs, that'll take like 20 minutes. They're like so freaked out. Ruby, place. Good place. Good job. Good. Good job, Rubes. Good girl. Good job. Good place. Ruby, place. So you see like progression. That's all you're looking for. There's a minute she's like, I don't know about this. And now when you bring her up, place, she's like, bonk. She goes right up, which is great. So then you just keep building it up, where you can do a place on this. Place. So see, there's like a wall there up here. She's like, that's different. It's lower, it's a different color, all these things. She's not sure of this. So then you can start working on building this up with her. Come on, touch, place, place. So this is perfect. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? Good. So see how she won't put her paws on here. This is what this is for, by the way. Confidence building, it's also good for dogs' balance, all this fun stuff. But it's meant to be unstable. It's got all this squishy stuff in it. But you see the difference? So there's this roadblock. So again, if you came in here and said, Tom, my dog's reactive, I would do a lot of the same stuff. I'd be like, your dog's reactive because they're fearful and they're insecure with you. How do you build confidence? How do you build a healthier relationship? Place. See how she's doing this? Yeah. It's cool to see because she's like, I can't do this. Good girl, nice job, Rubes, good girl. And of course, if she was food motivated, we'd be helping her out here, but she's not, so it doesn't matter. Actually makes it easier, it's less distraction. Good girl, nice job. Good girl, yeah, good girl. Now she's on this thing, and again, I'm like, hey, do this. She's like, I can't do this. A minute later, she can do it. Brick, good job, Rubes. Does this make sense? Okay, so I always tell people, build a healthy relationship with your dog first, then train second. Obedience train. Yeah, because it's like if somebody starts barking orders at you and it's like, do this, sit down, stay, heel. It's much better if you have a healthier foundation, you know? The first week you have her should be working on thresholds, which we'll do in a minute with the door, and it should be just developing this relationship of, I have everything you want, I'm gonna give everything you want, but you have to work for it a little bit and you have to go through me. You can't just have it. And what you'll do with the door is you can either do stay or wait, doesn't matter. But like for an example, if you come up this way and you're at the door, so this is a threshold. This is a portal of, we always go through doors when we walk up to doors. So we've conditioned the dog for however old she is that when we walk up here, we go through it. Come here, Ruby, stay. 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 Okay, break. And you break through. So it just has to be on your cue. So if somebody came to me and they said, Tom, my dog just killed another dog, I'd be doing this. I'm like, your dog doesn't listen to you. Your dog doesn't engage with you. You have no impulse control. You want to accomplish this crazy goal over here, but you can't even, your dog has no respect for you. You have no boundaries. So I'm going to do this again. I'll have you do it. So you come up, Ruby, stay. So again, it's like I'm not going, stay. This is what everyone does. Stay. Like you're not asking, you're telling, right? I always equate it to if somebody comes up and asks for directions, they're like, where's the gas station? You're like, over there versus it's right there. Same thing. So it's stay, not stay. Like don't ask, tell. Your voice inflection matters big time. Nope. So that little verbal is just like a nope type thing. It's not like, it's neutral. So this is kind of like stay, and then now I'm giving her an opportunity. You can go through if you want. Okay, break. But then you break the dog through in your body language and break, your break command. So anything so you see the history of break here. When I say break, you're done with what I asked you to do. You can do what you want, but it has to be on your cue. It's the same thing with kids. It's like, maybe release from the table, or can I go play? Or you're like, what you're doing as a parent, it's not because you want to be the ruler, it's because you're like, yep, bud, there's no cars, go ahead, or whatever, right? It's the same thing with dogs. Does that make sense? Yeah. Maybe this isn't applicable, but most dog owners, the dog is up here going, "Dah," and they're scratching here, and they're just, you do this, and then you're getting dragged out. Yeah. I don't have to know anything about your relationship to know that your dog doesn't listen to you, your dog doesn't respect you. If you told your dog to do something, I can guarantee they're not going to listen to you. Just by that behavior at the door. Give her a little frontal pressure on your body. There. That's kind of like a doorway. You're creating a doorway. Push her back with your body. Just walk into her. See how that works? So you're just saying like, whoa, 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 hey, what am I, chopped liver here? Like you're allowing yourself to be known here. Okay, now go sideways, stay. Stay. And then break her. Break. Perfect. Your homework would be thresholds, confidence building, find stuff that like actively go towards things that she's afraid of. Be like, oh, she doesn't want to go here, let's go over here. If it's a cone or if it's something silly, like work around those things. But you're just in this new stage of, but again, that's why I wanted you to come in. Right now, you get a new dog, where should you start? Thresholds, relationship, trust, boundaries, and then the fun stuff can start with the place, the stay, the leave it, the heel, then you can start doing all that stuff.